I love it. I love hearing that. Do, 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 do. So, guys, listen. Starting the show here, Chris is a little under the weather, so you probably won't see him much tonight. He loves doing his stuff, but this poor man he's sick. So I just appreciate him being on. So, Chris, thank you.
No problem.
I do have TJ and Skip supposed to join us. TJ is actually fleshing a fox at the moment. He's going to jump on and live show us his fox. A little bit about today's hunting season. We skip every other week, so we have a little more to talk about. First, I want to show you this. I don't know if you can see it. There. Can you see that? So I might have to go to the dispensary. I have a stick lodged in my eye. I decided to try to put a tree stand up in a hurry tonight. And, Chris and I have been watching deer in the top field, so we've been pretty excited about trying to get on them. And I thought, well, that's the end of it. I'm going to figure out how to get a stand up there. So put a stand up there as I was macheting stuff out of the way. I freaking hit a branch, come right back, stuck right in my eyeball. And I mean, it's stuck. My daughter had to pull the branch out, so I don't know how bad it is. I know I have blurry vision right now. So that's how my day started today. The other thing I want to talk about to start a show, and I hope there's people watching. I know on this new Streamlabs, I can't tell. I did want to talk about our knife contest to start. So I think there's a little confusion in the knife contest. We have a lot of people sending us photos, and I love it. I've been posting every photo we get, any information you guys want on it. I've been posting that on. I appreciate that. I just want to make sure everybody knows, just because we post your photo up, that does not enter you in the contest. If you go to the top of the page, there's a link. It tells you all the rules, everything posted at the top of our Facebook page. Put your picture in the comments, and voting begins. I think the two leaders right now, don't quote me, I looked early this morning, was Brent Beach and, yep, right there, top link. There's a beautiful skinning knife by Matthew Bladeworks. I believe Brent Beach was in the lead with 90. What does he have? I have my glasses off. 98?
98.
And I think Charity Wirtz was
29.
The next closest one. So we have a lot of entries. They're crawling. People are starting to vote. All right, so it looks like people are starting to catch on. We got a lot of 20s. So good. I love that. Got a lot of people involved. Make sure you guys are putting your pictures in there. Get your friends, your family, whatever you have to do, get them in there to vote. The more people you bring to Big Sexy Outdoors benefits us, but the more people you bring to get the vote benefits you. So, we hope in all this that one of your friends or family or coworkers, whoever you invite, decides to stay, like the page. So, we got a lot of awesome bucks. Some local guys. There's actually someone in there from British Columbia, which I thought was awesome. So we have a lot of different ones out there. We have Kids First Kills. We have First Time Buckshot or Property. We have so many cool things this year. Make sure you guys post a photo. Get everybody you can. Like here's skunks. Dude, that's awesome. You know, your harvest was not about a buck. Too many people are stuck in this contest is about a buck. It is not about a buck. It could be a turkey, a skunk, a groundhog. I don't care. We didn't make it that way this year. This year we made it different. Matthew Bladeworks decided they want to do something awesome. We decided we were going to jump on it. So just something to think about. I want to make sure I touch base with you on the contest. So if there was any what do you want to call it, construction or confusion in it, we apologize, and hopefully that cleared everything up. If not, contact us. And do not stop sending your photos and videos. Do not. We love that. Do not stop sending that. We will share every one. It's been a great thing. So last 2 weeks, Chris, rut season has officially started. I would say beginning of this week, end of last. Guys, I apologize. I took some medicine for my because my eyes killing me. Made me drowsy. So rut is starting. I seen my first buck rutting. See my first buck rutting on Saturday morning. Two doe come out in the dark, come down, and he chased a doe. They were chasing right across the road, and that's a long distance. Could have gone anywhere once they crossed the road to me. But a car spooked them off as well. Never seen them again. Now, here's the crazy part of my hunting for this. This is probably my craziest adventure. So all this happens by 7:30. I decide I'm going to do something different. There's a gobbler strutting in the field with nine hens that I could tell in binoculars. So I was like, you know what? It's the last day of turkey. I'm going to put the bow away. I'm going to go get one of these turkeys. Now listen, you guys are going to love this story. So talk about making a fool out of me. So put the bow down, run in, get the shotgun, couple of turkeys. I apologize. Oh, man, I shouldn't have took that. So I end up, it's not funny, but it is. So I end up going out through, get the shotgun, get a decoy. I parked up at the top of my driveway. I ran across the road. I decided I'm going to run over and set up. So as I get up over this knob, I realize I can't see the turkeys in the binoculars anymore. So now I'm puzzled. God, I'm so sorry. This acts like my own story is boring. I hate this. No more drowsy meds for me. Anyway, so I dropped this. I dropped the decoy in the ground, and I just start sneaking up through the high grass to realize the turkeys were gone. They weren't there no more. So now at this point, I have a trap in the top field, and I decide, well, I guess I might as well go down and get the tractor. I haven't ran it in a month. I'll get the tractor set up. I'll come up with a brush hog and I'll mow three widths so I can drive in and out of my truck without getting in all the high grass and stuff. So I come up, I mow, I drive the tractor down, park it in the barn, and I look up and there's 50 turkeys in the field where I just came from. And I said, you gotta be crapping me right now. So I told the kids, I'll be back. Jumped in the truck, pulled the top of the driveway, ran across the road, get over there. I got, I don't know, 70, 80 yards. I could still see the turkeys out in the bottom corner. And I was like, this is going to happen. I got this. So I just stood there watching a minute because I knew there was a ton of turkeys. I want to make sure I didn't get busted. I was going to sneak out across this hat, make a half circle, and come in. Sit down, give one or two clucks, and I knew I'd have one. Well, I lied. Don't a car pull up. It must have seen me sneaking across that top field. Starts meeping a horn at the turkeys, and all the turkeys take off. Game over. I sat there an hour and a half with a turkey call, and I was like, I'm done. I'm going home. I'm going to make the kids breakfast. It was a rough Saturday. I was bummed. And Saturday evening, I decided, well, I'm gonna just get some stuff done. I end up going out to this spot, which I call my hot spot. Rock comes in. I always see deer out there. Always. This year, I haven't hunted my stand out there. My daughter's hunted it, so I've been trying to move around and find a new spot when I go out there. I have another tree stand set up that has produced deer for me. Never shot one there, but I've seen them. Well, I've sat in that probably 12 times this year. I haven't seen a deer yet. So I make this crazy decision. I'm going to crawl down in the middle of this hollow. Well, these banks in this property are ridiculous. So I didn't crawl. I slid, basically. I get set up off this bank. And I can hear this buck grunting and carrying on. And man, I'm like, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yep, never showed up. So that's how my Saturday went. My Saturday before wasn't even that exciting. I'm going to tell you that Saturday. So that's a highlight of my my last 2 weeks. Rut is officially on. I've had some action. Traps. Let me think traps. So I caught my first raccoon and my first possum I caught tonight. So I did catch that. I decided to try trapping a little bit. TJ come out, helps it up, which TJ is supposed to join us there in a couple minutes. I did, had him come out and just kind of give me the rundown in the ropes. I got to be honest, guys. I don't know if trapping's for me. I don't know. I'm going to tell you that I respect anybody that does it. One thing I can tell you is getting up an hour extra in the morning isn't for me. I can tell you that right off the bat. I have yet to catch a coyote or a fox, which is, the main target for where I'm at. Yet to catch a coyote or a fox. I think I had a coyote in the one trap. It broke the trap, left it lay 10 yards, 20 yards from the hole. So I think we had a coyote or a fox in that trap. I don't know. I don't know if it's for me. There's just a lot that goes with it. I guess I'll try it more before I say on here what I think and don't think. I will tell you, I only caught 2 animals in traps, and both times I caught animals in traps, I felt like the animal suffered, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I don't know. I guess that we'll see, and I'll do a little more. See what happens in it. Coyote hunting. Did that last 2 weeks. Got 2 last Saturday, 2 the Saturday before, or 1 the Saturday before, and a couple fox. I did give a lesson on coyote hunting, and I'm no professional coyote hunter. So you guys messaging me to help you, man. I wonder if I actually have a video. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'll still try to send it to Chris quick. So I have a video, guys, that actually give me 1 second here. Choose a sticker. I think it's this one. So I have a video here that is. Where do I have it? Pictures. We put a call out, and he's never used our. So I decided, I'm going to let him run the equipment, and I'm just going to sit and watch. I'll run the call, and I'll just watch everything. Now, I had, God, which one is it? I have so much stuff in this computer. All right, I think TJ's backstage. course, I can't find that video. However, somewhere I have a video, guys, where he's actually standing at the call. The gray fox comes in, and I keep saying he's standing. He's at the call. He's at the call, and he's like, I can't see it. I can't see it. But in my thermal binocular, I videoed it, and you can see here's the call, and here's the gray fox. I mean, he literally just stood there. So I thought that was a really cool video. I really want to show you guys, but I haven't seen how it went. Skippy, my friend, my brother.
What's up, bud?
How's your season been going?
Not too bad.
All I know is you're the deer slayer is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I've been trying to download these videos, buddy. It ain't working. We got to talk.
Ah.
But tell us a little bit about yours. I know you shot a buck here. Tell us a little bit about where you're at.
Yeah. Smacked one.
With your hand?
Yeah. Yeah. Just smacked it around, a little bit. No, I mean, I was pretty fortunate this year to have one come in. So last year, all I had was doe come in. This is the first year I had a buck come in within shooting range. So.
Yeah, and you're pretty picky. You like horns. You like only taking one with horns.
Well, hopefully I get one with horns. I mean, can't eat them, so.
Wait, you can't eat the deer or the horns?
The horns.
So I can eat them deer. I don't care how big them horns are. I can eat them.
Well, I know. You and Haley have any luck?
No, you just missed it. We didn't. We've been seeing deer. You know that big 10-pointer from last year I had on trail cam?
Yep.
With the absolute giant G2s, we were calling him the mule deer buck. He just showed up last night. He showed up right at dark. 6:05. He showed up right behind the hot stand. Actually, I lied to you. It was this morning he showed up. It was 6:05 this morning he showed up. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. He was 20 yards behind the stand. Just moved the trail camera when we were there Saturday. Sooner or later, I'm going to connect with that baby. That's all I can say and hope like heck. I'm off Thursday and Friday of this week. If it's buck or doe, clip here prepared again. I don't know what the heck just happened. All my videos shuffled somehow in the last. I did take a small doe at the inline. I ended up taking another doe at the inline. I didn't find it. I found it last week. You know where the secret fishing hole is?
Yep.
There was a distinct smell at the secret fishing hole. It was 10 yards off the fishing hole.
Oh, man.
That was a bummer, man. That bummed me out.
Was it all chewed up or eaten out? Because I know you got a lot of coyotes over your area.
They destroyed it. Absolutely destroyed it. Yeah, they absolutely murdered it. I couldn't believe, honestly, the amount of, I don't know, man. Let's put it this way. I hear a ton of coyotes in the night. I can hear them out here howling and carrying on. And you know, all the coyote hunting I do, I cannot seem to get these babies to show their face. Now, standardly when we go out, we use the X24, Fox Pro X24. The last 2 times at my house, because I don't want to use anything without my buddy, I used the Flex Toad call. I used the Fox Patriot call I have. Neither one, no matter what sounds I threw, they wanted to deal with. And I spent an hour and a half both times. So I don't know. I just can't get them to show their face for that.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, they're going to mess up. I know we have traps out, and they won't touch a trap.
Yeah, I seen you've been getting some raccoons and stuff.
Yeah, I got a possum tonight. First possum. My daughter walked by and said, "Dad, there's something in that trap, and it's dead." I said, "That ain't dead. That's what they do in there." So that's. I'll tell you what. You know, Skippy, the controversy in my house over trapping. My 15-year-old daughter, She takes it personal, man. She is mad.
Autumn.
Mad. She is so mad that I'm trapped. She thinks that is the worst thing in the world. She said, "You guys are all jerks. All you do is let the animals suffer." I mean, she was yelling at me tonight. She was mad. I get part of that. Like, now that I trapped it for a few weeks, I didn't catch anything but 2 animals, but I do see part of that. I do see how all night it stays in a trap. You know what I mean? I get it.
Yeah.
So I guess there's 2 aspects to it. But like I said to her, I'm like, dude, our ancestors did this. This is what, this is how life is.
Yeah. I mean, just think, all the trapping that our ancestor did do, you know what I mean? That's all they did do.
Yeah, they make clothes out of it. They eat all the food. I mean, I'll never eat coyote ham again, but
yeah, not happening.
Yeah, coyote anything. You can't tell me you can eat coyote because I'm gonna tell you you're lying. You can eat it if you want to puke in your mouth.
Yeah, we were both there. You can eat it.
Chris witnessed that one. Even Chris made a face.
It smelled good and looked good, but man, appearance isn't everything.
Oh no! So you shot a buck, and now I know you were fishing. How'd we make out fishing? What are we doing right now in the fall for fishing?
Terrible, bud. I don't want to talk about fishing.
Really?
Oh my God! The water is so low. The water temps are perfect. You couldn't ask for better water temps. But man, I was up at Pine there. Remember where you caught that big rainbow and that brown trout?
Yeah, it's big one.
Yeah, right there, that water's middle of your shin. That's how low it was.
Wow. Nothing rising.
They were there. You could see them coming. They were porpoising up. I think they were coming up from like emergers or something coming off the bottom and hitting the top.
So real small.
I was up there for, I don't know, 6 hours, and I had one hooked and lost them, but that was it. I was disgusted.
Yeah, because you take your fishing pretty personal, especially this time of year. Usually you shoot a buck and you're going fishing. So the fact that you decided you were going doe hunting, I was like, oh man, he must have a bad day.
Yeah, I Friday night. I was like, man, I want to go fishing, but I'm gonna go see about a doe. I've had better luck. But yeah, and the water's so low. I was watching a video of the Lehigh Stocking Association.
Yeah,
there's some. They have some videos on Facebook right now where there's some branches off of the Lehigh there that they're walking down through and kicking the leaves over. It used to be the creek bottom, and there's fish laying dead all under the leaves and stuff because it dried up.
That stinks, man, when it's like that. That's
yeah.
We haven't had rain in a long time.
No, we had that little bit yesterday, but that was about it.
That was it. It didn't amount to anything. The water's even hardly gone. And that water affects hunting and fishing. That's
yeah.
I think that affects a lot. I know Friday night, word of mouth by a lot of hunters, the bucks were on the move in that wind. They say the bucks were moving like mad in that wind.
Yeah.
You know what I see in that wind? My TV. I walked outside and that wind blew my hat off. I was like, nope, I'm done.
Well, I know Friday it was when you at work.
Yeah, that's what.
Saturday morning it wasn't.
It was calm.
Yeah, they were calling for some high wind gusts, like 26 mile an hour. But heck, I didn't feel a breeze. I hunted till 12, and I was like, there was hardly any breeze. I thought I'd see more movement than I did, but I think the buck were already primed last week, and they were pushing the doe out of the area I hunt.
So I have your video pulled up, but it won't do us any good because on my computer everything's blurry. So yeah. I this is something I thought was really cool. Tell us what happened after you shot your buck.
Yeah, so if and when we can get that video up and running, I never had it happen before, but I talked to people and they said, well, that's usually what happens. So, I had that buck come in. I had that buck come in off the left-hand side where 90% of the video I get from my trail camera is off the left-hand side there. And sure enough, in comes a 6-pointer, well, I didn't know what it was at first. I seen a big Y buck chase another deer out behind me, and here it was a 6-pointer. So he was standing there, and as soon as he turned his head, I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4 on one side, plump, lay him out. So I watched that deer. It went, I don't know, probably 40 yards, 30 yards from where I shot it. And I just watched it, and on the video I have, I'll get over and give you the card, Ben.
Okay.
Maybe you might be able to do something with the card. So you can see the deer out in between two trees wobbling, and then he just falls over. So at that given moment, I grabbed my phone, and I was like, I sent a text out on Facebook that said, arrows away, and it connected. So as soon as I hit send, I just look up, and I was like, what is that? I'm moving my head back and forth. Like, what is that down there? Like 10 yards from where I shot where my deer laid dead. So I grab my phone and I just drag it up in front of me and I zoom in quick. Here, all you see is this rack sticking straight up in the air. It's probably 3 foot off the top of this deer's head. And it's just looking at me. And I was like, where'd you come from? Because, I watched my deer run, stand there, and fall over, and I never seen you standing over there looking right at me. Then he turns his head. And in my video, if you watch him, when this deer starts walking away, he walks right past my deer laying there. I was like, But that's the first time that ever happened.
Well, if he's
I've had similar experiences, but it's a cool story. I think that's always a neat story to. When you showed me on your phone and not on mine, I could see the buck crystal clear standing at yours, and I thought that was neat. I thought that was really neat. You can see yours laying there, and there's that big rack just sticking up over the brush, But that just shows you. Them things are sneaky little buggers. How is it that this huge animal that weighs 150, 200 pounds makes less noise than a squirrel?
Yeah,
am I the only one that thinks that or what? Zero. I could be watching 10 squirrels all fighting over the same nut. Sounds like an elephant ran down over the hill, after being slapped in the butt by a gorilla. And next thing you know, I hear this. Turn around and you're like, whoa, it's insane.
Yeah, it's amazing how quiet they are.
It's probably from a lifetime of
paranoia. Absolutely. Say that again, TJ. Sorry, we can hardly see your lips moving. You're in the dark, man.
Yeah, well, I'm here. I'll bring you inside then. It's probably from like a lifetime of paranoia. Thanks, Daddy. They're raised from the minute they're born. Their food and their food their entire life. Their food. So you figure the older and the bigger they get, probably the quieter they walk. Because these big buck never make any. Like every buck I shot, except for the 7-pointer, was like super quiet.
Do you think they put like sponges on the bottom of their hooves or what?
Their hooves, I think they walk like. You ever notice their hoof prints are like, their hooves are kind of like, they're not like flat. They're on an onward angle. Like it's always toe first. I think when they walk and they step, it's like they step down to plant themselves because they always want to they're always on edge, like ready to run. So they gotta plant.
So Mike Nye says he'll be on doe patrol Wednesday and Thursday. Well, Mike Nye, I better see some pictures with these interlock broadheads you're using because I know you shot one with one. I ain't getting no pictures or videos. So I better start seeing some stuff. No hiding, Mike. Show that face.
You know, it's funny. Last year on the farm, all these buck were up on this other side, right? And I was hunting the opposite side of this holler, figuring I'd catch them coming through. And you know, I missed a buck. My dad missed a buck. I missed 2 bucks. I'm not gonna lie. Right, one was a little ratty one. One's to talk about though. And then this year, all the bucks are in the back of the game lands. So of course I go to the back of the game lands. I walk like a mile and a half with my stand all the way out there the other day. I was like, well, there's bear back here, and there's nice buck. So like either or, I could shoot it, or turkey. I didn't see a damn thing. It was like perfect out, and I had to leave early because I realized I didn't have a flashlight. So like 4:15, where it was getting like a little fuzzy out, I started to walk, and I just walked slowly out until I got back to the fields. Lo and behold, that same day I was out, I was talking. I stopped down my buddy who's in the garage, one of the farmer's kid, and I'm hanging out with him for it's bullshit, and he shows me a picture of these bucks that these guys shot like way back in the back of the game lanes, and holy crap, dude! One of them was like its G2 had a crab claw on it. It was just freakishly huge, and the other one was just a nice, beautiful, like probably like a buck they used to like looked like it was 3 feet off its head, whatever. The two guys doubled up on him, and I'm like, man, I always used to go to the back of the game lands and all the damn deer over here. And now this year, I'm hunting over here, and they're all in the back of the game lands there. I can't keep up. I mean, it's a total of like 1,000 acres plus. But
They're not stupid.
no.
I have to tell you, I've been hunting the same ridge now for a year and a half, and that ridge has produced. Now, I'm not saying that the deer still aren't there because I know they're there. It's like a roadway stuck in this ridge, but dude, they're not dumb. As soon as they realize we're there, they're moving at different time frames. So I hunt a spot I've been hunting really hard the last year, a new spot. It has fingers. Used two guys were with me to track one.
Yeah.
So it has fingers. So this finger runs from the bottom of the mountain, hill, whatever you want to call it, all the way up to the highway. Okay? Deer cross through that. This finger runs halfway up, stops halfway in the field. There's about 80 yards to the neighbors, and then an apple orchard. This finger literally runs like a half moon around everybody's property. So a half moon has always been the hot spot. You think the apple orchard would be? Never been. Never been. I mean, I'm not saying the first day of deer season I didn't see deer there, but it's not the hot spot to me. The hot spot to me is that half moon. Now, why? I don't know. I would think a main food source, apples dropping on a tree, I would think that's like prime.
Yeah, that's.
But again, I've seen a lot of deer there, right? Never seen them close in that area. Last year, I pulled an audible. I hung a tree stand there, and I actually shot a buck there. If you guys helped me track last year, so I ended up pulling an audible and hunting a hollow. Now I've been in that hollow 12 times. I ain't seen a deer yet. Now where did they go? Because my daughter's been there. She ain't seen them either. I've been putting her in the hot spot on that half moon. Now the other night, I decided, okay, all right. I had another spot I hunted there off the ground. I thought, I'm not thinking hard enough. I'm going to drop over this ridge. So I literally slid down the bank, got down the middle of the house. I didn't see a deer. I heard one grunting down to my right side, but I didn't see one. Like, these deer are not dumb.
The funny part is, Ben,
their sensories and their smells, and they know.
I honestly just think that we're like, so last year you shot that deer like what, the end of archery, right?
I shot that deer. I shot a doe and a buck November 14th. That's my birthday, which is this Thursday.
So it's like around when the rut started happening.
Yep.
Yeah. So like we're just getting into the rut. Like I mean, like Friday, I've never seen a daylight, 8 a.m, buck standing in the field, friggin' Two of them one chases a doe across the road. I go down the farm. There's 8 of them in the field. I drive up. There's 16 does out in the field. There's a little Y buck chasing out by the reservoir. Like, it's crazy, right? Like, this overnights like this, you just start seeing them. And every day it's been like that. But I was working, so I literally check in the morning. I'm not hunting when I have work at night. But then I'm thinking to myself, all those bucks that I missed up in that area where I'm hunting, I usually archery hunt in the game lands, like up in the other side of the farm. Like, there's farm and then boom, game lands. I gun hunt the other side, but this year what made me want to go over there, and I guess this is where like our part in the game takes place, is like the activity. There's always been like a rub or a scrape, something good down there, but the rub line is ridiculous. Like, it has to be one of the big bucks. And then the ground scrapes are huge. And every time I go down there, well, it's starting to get a little bit faded now. But every time I was going down there, like early archery, there was a big old piss spot in it. Like, it was just done that morning. And I usually hunt the afternoons because, I trap in the morning and whatever, right? So I think that, like what you're saying is, like, you're probably hunting, like, a spot where you probably hit it harder last year during run. The same thing with me. I'm hunting in a different area because in my mind I'm like, oh, this deer is here, but he's probably on the game lands because he's hitting that at nighttime. But there's like a million acorns there, so I'm like, well, he's got to show up eventually. But then again, it might be a morning spot. I always miss the deer either at morning, but then during gun season when they're really they're running around crazy, I always see the buck there. I've never seen a doe in that spot. They come out in the fields, but they come out of the finger from the game land side of the farm, not that adjacent. It's split between a holler. So I'm thinking that I'm hunting a little early there. And like, because they switch up their areas. They got their rut spots and then they got their early season feeding grounds. But when the rut kicks on, they have their other areas that they go to. And like, I've watched that, and like, when you get out there, you just want to get out. And like, I never think like, oh, maybe I ought to go walk out into the game lands and I should be doing that. Like, I'm kind of lazy. You know what I mean? I'm like, why am I going to walk to the game lands where I have with my climber, where I have a fixed stand right at the edge of a field? It's like something out of a damn show. But they're not happening there. I mean, I drive out and I hit it with my green light at 6:30, and there's a buck and a doe in the field just when I was leaving out, coming back from hunting, right where I walked through. They did not care. And I'm trying everything. Evercom, nose jammer. I got dirt wafers. I keep my clothes in scent lock bags. So I don't think it's me. I think, well, it's me, but it's not like error. It's just I'm in the right place but the wrong time. And I'm jumping that spot's season. Like, that's a gun season spot. It's a morning spot, not a bow season, early season type of spot for the evening.
I think my situation's a little different. I'm with you though. I think that you got to hunt a spot a little harder and learn the spot a little bit. Now, I spent a lot of time there last year, and I guess I personally just hope that helped me this year, right? I didn't put near the work in this year because I assumed that the work last year helped put in the work this year, and I run the trail cameras and I watch what's there. So, I guess you could say I got a little lazy too, but in the same breath, I moved in this 91-acre farm. So now I moved in this 91-acre farm, and now I don't get to learn this property unless I take time away from that property, right? So I have to take time away from one to do the other. So it's not even lazy in that sense. So now here I am. I purchased 2 more trail cameras. I have one down in the creek. I have one more crossing at night. I have one in my field. I have one across the street. Like I have more trail cameras going than I ever had in my life off this cell phone. And my problem I'm running into now is I'm seeing deer every day on my cameras. I mean, every day. On my farm here, I have deer every day. I'm to the point where I have now seen 16 different bucks, okay, on my farm, the one I live on. However, the first time I seen one in daylight hours was Saturday morning. I have yet to see a buck in daylight hours. I've seen them breaking, like pulling out of my driveway, or people sending me pictures. Hey, look at this buck in your yard. You guys seen some of them monsters? But
yeah,
where you couldn't shoot one, right? So what's happening is I have a post, and I think a lot of this happens to people, and I could be wrong. I have a posted section of property, which you guys have both been to my house now, that is this huge field line and creek bed that runs all the way up and all the way across. And I can't hunt that. Nope. I guess somebody can, because I keep seeing somebody sneak through the high grass. But I don't know if that's legit or someone sneaking through the high grass. But I have yet to see a buck come out of that during daylight hours. But that's where they're at. If they're not there, they're across the street on my property on the very top side of the mountain in that thick stuff. And I'm not going to lie to you that I hiked up there last Saturday. I hiked up, I don't know, maybe halfway. And it's a heck of a hoof. And I didn't see a deer sitting up there. I see a lot of turkeys and a lot of deer sign. But what's funny is, so this is what I'm getting. All the cameras I have set up. The one of my creek bed guys, I have rubs every 5 feet, the whole creek length. It's absolutely insane. I've never seen it before. Like every 5 feet from one end of my field to where the property ends. Okay. If you go up to the top field, I have probably double the amount of rubs that are on the bottom field and probably triple the amount of scrapes. However, I can't catch a deer in daylight hours. Now, someone got to tell me why. So if someone's listening, dear God, I'm all in for whatever tips you got, because I've never run into a problem where I couldn't catch a deer in daylight hours. I have run into where they've gone, but they always had their daytime scenarios. But right. As many cameras as I got running, it's impossible that they're getting by me in daylight. It's impossible. I mean, it's just impossible. I can tell you it's impossible. I can show you where these cameras are, and you guys will be like, there's no way you're not getting deer. I'm telling you. They're there at night. The other night, so last night, an 8-point showed up on my creek bed that I've never seen before. He came in from the neighbor's property to the right of me. Where'd that come? I mean, hopefully he stays in the bottom and he's there. But is he gonna? Probably not.
No. It's right just in there looking for doe now.
So, and here's the other thing I've run into this year that I see a major problem with. So, TJ, now you've been out at my farm actually hunting with me. So I think you can vouch this. I have seen so many small doe that I've passed up on this year. Like I ain't even pulled a video camera out because they're so small. I took a small doe at the inline with TJ. And I mean, listen, I shot the bigger of the two. And I wasn't proud.
It was like a medium. It wasn't.
It was a last year fawn. It was a last year fawn. It wasn't a baby. It was a last year fawn. But it was small enough for me to say, "What in the hell am I doing?" Right? But I wanted some deer meat. My daughter was after steaks. I told TJ, I'm like, "We get the right one. I guess I'm going to shoot it because my daughter's been begging me for steaks." However, like I haven't seen hardly any big does. I'll bet you at night on my farm, I see 50 to 60 deer. That's the truth. On the farm I'm living at, I just moved in on a month ago. I'm seeing 50 to 60 deer every night. I can put my thermal binocular out, and I can watch buck chase doe from one end of the property to the other. So now here's a question for you. I'm going to throw this out. Hey, Freezer Bound. So here's one for you. I have vehicles drive up the main road here. You guys all know that one side of my property is 66 acres, 76 acres. I don't know. It's something. It's broken into sections. The bigger section I live on, the other section's across the street. Now, I have guys, I must have 50 cars that spotlight at my house every day, watching these big bucks in my yard. Why are these big bucks not here in the daytime? Does that spotlight? I mean, I know the spotlight chair. Here we go.
Yeah, so my grandfather was old school, right? He always shot a nice big buck every year. And he always said, like, come hunting season, don't spot the deer. He goes, the big bucks, you'll see them, and it won't bother them then, but they're not going to stay there for the night. He goes, they're going to go to probably 2 properties over. He's like, that spotlight, they get found, you shut it off. It's something he's always stuck by it. So I never, and believe it or not, my uncle had 88 acres in upstate New York, and we had these booners. I mean, they were world-class sized deer standing in the field as we drove up his long driveway, right? We were getting there for the, Thanksgiving, open weekend, 4-day hunt, whole everybody's coming up, right? And we're first ones there, and there are two massive, probably 200 plus size deer. And the first thing my Uncle Pat does is go out and grab the spotlight. And I was like, yeah, good luck ever seeing those again. And shit you not, like my grandfather said, now, of course, like I used to be young and stupid, so they wouldn't listen to me. But 3 properties down, that deer got shot 2 days. That was Thursday night. That deer got shot Saturday, 2 days later, down 2 properties away. Not even the next property. And the guys who live up there, they came over because they used to till the fields for my uncle. And they were like, oh, those deer have been on your property for like weeks now. And he goes, I don't know what happened. And I'm like, yeah.
Skip, what's your opinion in this?
I don't know. It's almost like they're just using that land as a pass by. Where they're not living anywhere close to that land. They're using that land to walk through to a food source, water source. I mean, when do deer do most of their feeding? At night.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're catching all this at night, your property just might be a walkthrough for them. It's something they just walk through for their food and water and maybe chase doe, but they're not living anywhere near your property. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of.
I was afraid of that answer, Skip. I don't like it. Can you take that back?
Okay. They're all living down at the creek bed, and
got 15 more minutes, buddy.
So I did see Bob Chase had a comment up. I didn't want to. I love when viewers get involved. I didn't want to lose that. Chris, can you put that back up? I have a spot on public land that I hunted for days.
Those kiddos asking for me. Thanks for having me on.
All right, see you, buddy.
All right, see you later.
See ya, TJ.
I have a spot on public land that I hunted for days, and I didn't see anything. Then one day I saw 13 bucks in 5 hours before I shot one, just after lunch last year. It was the magic day. And I do agree, Bob. I do. I used to have a spot in Pine Grove where I leased land, and I have some boners on the wall. Skip will tell you. And it was the same way. So, like, I knew that was always going to produce. I knew at some point that was going to produce. I never gave up in that spot. And I remember some mornings I didn't see a deer for 4 weeks. And then all of a sudden, 5th week came around and I seen, shit, Skip, if you remember that one morning, I counted 12 different buck. I shot one of the 12. So
that was good property over there.
Yeah, so I mean, Bob, I 100% agree. I mean, it's luck of the draw. It's the right spot at the right time. It's like rut's changing, so you're going to start seeing daylight deer. I 100% agree with that. Mike Nye, I believe, is the one that just said I'm starting to see daylight pictures. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to this week is going to be my change week, or it ain't because archery's over. But I mean, my hope is that this week is change week for me.
You got Saturday and Sunday, so.
Oh, can you archery on Sunday?
I think this is our archery Sunday, ain't it?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Because they give you one in regular season for archery.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Someone's got to look at the book. I don't have a book handy.
I don't either. But I think you're right. I do think you're right. Because
yeah,
it's usually right. It's usually before Thanksgiving. Last year the Sunday we had would have been this weekend. So last year it would have been this weekend. November 17th. There it is.
Yep. Good job, Chris.
Chris, you're the man, dude. You are the man. So I don't know if you guys took notice of this picture. I know we're in depth conversation of, why my deer are disappearing during the daylight hours, and talking about rut. But Chris went to a convention this week, and again, I'm going to speak for Chris. So, Chris, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But this lady won a copy of Gone Hunting board game. So that's another thing, guys. I know we're at our 50-minute mark, and you know we try to cut out in 45. But if you're looking at back at Skip's screen, I can see the Gone Hunting board game sticking up right there. So if you guys get an opportunity, right now Gone Hunting is marked down so low just to try to get it sold before Christmas. So, Chris, I forget what the price is. Can you just put your voice up and confirm what you lowered it to? While Chris is pulling his voice up, my buddy had 2 slammers in his yard every night between 2 and 3 a.m. during hunting season that nobody could find. The Sunday after rifle closed, we got a fresh snow overnight, so we tracked them deer 4 miles where they were living in a half-acre thicket. It was pounded by rubs. Yeah, I think some of them were living across the street, my neighbors, because I'm telling you, I've that many rubs and scrapes over there. It's insane. And I think they're on top of this mountain. I know that I talked to the neighbor today. He told me he has the big 8 and the big 10 on camera. And I've been getting them on camera at night. So, you know, it's like, I don't know, man. It's like anything else. Half a dozen one, half a dozen the other. You know what I mean? It's a luck of the draw. Last 2 years, last year I shot an 8 and a doe with the bow and didn't find either of them, which was a devastating year for me. First year that happened to me in a long time. And I guess I'm looking for some redemption, you know? And I'd like to do some redemption during the Freezer Bound Outdoors Big Buck Tournament. I feel a little better doing some redemption then. But it hasn't worked for me. So, you know, shame on me, but that's maybe I'm a little selfish in it. I do let my daughter take the good spot when we go out, and I think most dads would do the same. You know, I think that and to be honest with you, not with this to say this sound rude, but my hunting game has changed ever since that. Ever since my kids started hunting. But I also will tell you in the same breath, and Bob, if you're listening, I'm sure you'll agree 110%. Whether my hunting game has changed worse or better for me, I wouldn't change a day of hunting with my daughter any day of the week. So she can always have the good spots, you know?
Yep. Don't blame you.
Wow, is that what you have it marked down to, Chris? All right, so Gone Hunting is marked down to $15 right now. If you guys want a copy of Gone Hunting for Christmas, this is your chance. You can look. We have it up on an eBay link. The eBay link was actually protects you and us because it goes through the buyer purchase. So, man, guys, get on and get a game now for Christmas time. Dear God, you won't get it any cheaper. Trying to sell out of them. Working on some new stuff. Chris wants to sell out of them and get rid of them. With Christmas coming, so make sure you guys buy them. Again, I apologize for coming off track a little bit, but I do think that needs to be brought up and said. So,
yep.
Skippy, I don't know if you realize this, but man, time flies. We actually hit 53.33 minutes.
Dang. Hey, are you gonna? If you're around this weekend, give me a call. I'll try and get over to your house and drop that card off. Maybe you can download from the card better than you can with the video I send you.
Okay, that sounds good. Love seeing the kids get them. Still battling the aunties. Yeah, Bob, we got a couple awesome people that are really running their mouth. But, you know, Bob, I ain't going to lie to you. I don't say much, but I love that you do. I see you eat them alive every time. When you said, and you called them out the other day and said, I dare you to challenge me. They had nothing to say. Nothing at all. So I love that. I thought that was awesome. So you keep doing what you're doing, Bob. I'll let you handle it. You handle a little more professional than I do, Bob. However, Bob, I would like to add live on here. I'd like to shoot a couple more videos with you. And it doesn't have to be rattlesnake. It can be as much as fishing, whatever. Maybe get you and Skippy together and do some fishing. I mean, we could really have a good time. So that's definitely something to think about. And I'd love to have you live again too. Let's get you live one night again. Heck, get your son on. We'll do a father-son thing. That would be really cool. You know, that would be really neat. You get him on one screen and you on the other, and you guys can kind of hash out who's the better hunter, because you know that's how it's going to go. I have kids. It's going to end that way, Bob, whether you like it or not. I mean, it's just the way it is. But yeah, no, I think that would be a really cool thing too. So, you know, definitely something to think about. Skip, I appreciate you joining us. We got to get together, get some video footage put out there for the guys. I have some of your video and I can't get it out. I kind of feel bad because I really want to get it running. TJ dropped some the other night, so we're going to try to get that up and running. I do have a bunch of stuff downloaded. I just got to get time to edit, and I ain't got live bud ruts here. So let's go. So I do have a bunch of stuff here to edit out through. So I will get that up. Anyway, guys, I did not wear my Interlock Broadheads hat, and I apologize. I wore it hunting, so it's out in my truck. But I definitely want to wear that and keep that going. We appreciate Interlock Broadheads for the sponsorship, and want to make sure everyone knows. Skippy, you want to tell them what broadhead you were using when you laid that buck down, how far that buck ran?
The slice. He ran about 25, 30 yards and right over, bud, right through the heart.
Yeah, them broadheads are something cool, man. I actually took some to work the other day, and they said
all I did was clean that arrow off, and I had that back in my crossbow this past.
Yeah, hey, when they're made tough. One thing on the back of them broadhead, Skippy, that most broadheads don't say
I
is
don't know if
proudly
it's
made
me
where.
or your. I don't know if it's me or your internets, but something's really cutting out. It might be mine.
So in the back of them broadheads, it states proudly made in the USA. Something most of them don't say. But I think that's it, guys. We're going to call it a night. Bob, Freezer Bound, anybody jumped in. We appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you guys could say a little prayer for Chris, man, I know he's down. I mean, he is sick. He got on here, and I was like, damn! No. I mean, he looks rough, that poor guy. So if you guys say a little prayer, get on there. Let him know he's good. We did get some awesome knives in from Matthew Bladeworks. I sent some videos out to Chris, hoping Chris can put some cool videos together for us. And I want to say one more shout out to Matthew Bladeworks, say thank you very much for your sponsorship and for taking care of our guys. I also appreciate you donating a knife to the contest. So thank you very much for that. Thank you, everybody, joined us tonight. We appreciate you. God bless. And Big Sexy's out of here.